activity is, the vulnerability we already know, threats we already know. There may be few of them are new as well in the slide. So let's just go very, very quickly for them. Okay. So a type of malwares, cyber criminal target user and devices through the installation of the malware. These malwares are type of viruses, worm, Trojan horse. We already know what these viruses, this is actually, okay. And worms, we also know that as well. Trojan horse, we also know that as well, okay. In terms of type of malware, logic bombs, ransomware, backdoor, and rootkits. So let's just discuss, maybe these are maybe few terms which we have not covered. So what is a logic bomb? So logic bomb is a malicious program that uses a trigger to awaken the malicious code. So it's like a time bomb. So it might be activated at particular time. Okay. For example, trigger can be dates, time, or other program running. That if the particular program is run, then might be that program can trigger, or the deletion of the user account. The logic bomb remain inactive until that trigger event happen. Once activated, a logic bomb implement a malicious code that cause harm to the computer. Okay. So again, this is not very common actually, but as you can see, it is one of the attack, threats, or vulnerability in your system. Ransomware, we already know what is ransomware. What is backdoor, by the way? In each building you go into, there is always a backdoor. Mostly we use the front door, okay, because there is the security people are sitting there as well. Cameras are there. Backdoors are only used when it is required for any case of emergency. So what is the backdoor in terms of cybersecurity domain? Backdoor are rootkits, refer to the program or a code introduced by a criminal who has compromised a system. The backdoor bypass the normal authentication system. So normally you access for example, you access a hacker or a bad guy can access the system, and he created a username and password which is maybe bypass the normal authentication system. So normally when, let's say, you log into the computer, it logins using the Active Directory account. Active Directory is like, your username and password will be checked against the database, and if the account is not there, it will be not there. Maybe a user, if he can have access to my computer, he might create a username and password which may not be authenticated by Active Directory. Yeah, he may create a local user, for example, and he can access this system. So basically, the normal way of accessing the system or using the computer activated by the Active Directory, but he might create a username or a password to use it, makes the outside the normal authentication system. Okay, rootkit modify the operating system to create a backdoor. Attacker can use the backdoor to access the computer remotely. Then once they have that backdoor, without your knowledge, because you are using the normal way, okay. So if they're using backdoor, the good thing is for them, there are no logs are generated, for example. Okay, so in that case, they are safe themselves, and also the person doesn't know that somebody is using the backdoor, maybe. Okay, so backdoor or a rootkit refer to a program or a code introduced by the criminal who has compromised a system. The backdoor bypasses the normal authentications used by the access system. A rootkit modifies the operating system to create a backdoor. So this is what we discussed. Like maybe you can modify the Windows operating system. Attacker can use the backdoor to access system remotely. Okay, what are the email and browser attack? Email is, of course, is used by billions of worldwide users as one of the most popular services. Email has become a major vulnerability to user analysis. So first of all, we know spam email. Every other day we receive some spam email in our junk folder. Okay, and these are unsolicited email. Maybe we don't want that. Unwanted email. A spam can be a harmful link. Maybe what happened that company, people you don't know, maybe they keep sending some malware links and deception content. So you want to keep them separately and you can just delete them. Spyware. Anybody knows about spyware? Is a program that enable a criminal to obtain information about the user computer activity. So they might install a program which can act as a spy. Whatever activity you are doing, it's sending it remotely. Spy often includes the activity tracker, keystalker. We discussed this actually. And each key you press, for example, if you, let's say you log into the internet banking and you are using username and password, so whatever the key you are pressing, it's logging and sending to the remote user, and the remote user can just log in. Okay? And they may transfer the money. In an attempt to overcome the security measures, software often modifies security setting. Clear? So email and the spam. Just at spam terms, we know them. Some email, unwanted email. Okay, they might be unwanted links. Some are marketing links, for example. But because they are not trusted, nowadays mostly companies they have designed their spam folder. They know okay what type of mostly people you are actually dealing on a day-to-day basis. Okay, and then if you're not using most of them, they can put them in the spam, for example. Email and browser attacks. Adware. So what are the adware? Typically display annoying pop-up to generate revenue for its author. The malware may analyze user interaction by tracking the website visited. It can then send pop-up advertising to those sites. So basically, suddenly because you are visiting many websites, it keeps knowing that what kind of website you are visiting on a daily basis, and maybe some suddenly pop-ups appear. Maybe that lead to there's a cache is waiting for you, for example. If you click that, if you go to that, do that survey, for example, you will get this kind of money. Once they redirect to a particular website, maybe that particular website has some harmful material which might be downloaded in your computer. Okay? And it can damage your data. So adware are the program, annoying pop-up sometime, and sometimes it's not very easy to get rid of them. Okay? And they'll keep coming and coming. Scareware pursued the user to take a specific action based on the fear. Scareware forges the pop-up window that resemble operating system dialog box. So I seen this. I think it happened to me a couple of times that suddenly somebody saying, oh, your system is maybe suddenly pop-up is appearing, or somebody's asking you give me this much of money, or maybe they're asking you to buy this particular software, pay this much of money. Otherwise, it's keep annoying you all the time. So they are fearing you that maybe your data may be damaged, or you have downloaded this program. So they are trying to scare you. So guys, everybody is clear about adware and scareware? Anybody has any question? No? Okay. Phishing, I think we already know that what the phishing is. Okay. But spear phishing. Spear phishing is a highly targeted phishing attack. While phishing and spear phishing both use email to reach the victims, spear phishing sending customized email to the specific person. So they might design some customized email. Okay. They look normal kind of email, but they are very customized. And they try to send the emails to particular people or group of people. Email and browser attacks. What is phishing? Is a phishing, but we use voice. Okay. Criminal can spoof call from a legitimate source using the VoIP technology. Victim may also receive a recorded message that appear legitimate. Okay, so maybe you receive a WhatsApp message in the format of voice, and somebody, just tricking you that maybe he's your friend, but actually he's not your friend. He knows that you are a friend of Mr. Michael, for example, and then he become, he tried to become like a Michael and then try to trick you over there. Okay. Is a legitimate website, impressionate of the legitimate website is an effort to decision enter their credential. Okay, so sometimes you might be getting a link where it look like legitimate website. So the idea is to get your user credential of that website. Mailing is a phishing attack that target high-profile target within organizations such as senior executive. Okay, so these are phishing attacks. Mostly, we can see targeting the high email browser attack. Plugin, as you know, we use Flash and Shockwave plugin for Adobe, enable the development of interesting graphic and cartoon animation that greatly enhance the look and feel of the website. Plugin display the content development using the appropriate software. Okay, so some plugins are very harmful sometimes. The Flash or Shockwave, these plugins sometimes they are, blocked inside the corporate network. So sometimes SEO poisoning. Everybody knows about SEO. You do some kind of on the Google actually to rank your website on higher, because mostly when you search any keyword, it come on the first 10 on the first page, for example. So some company charge you to pay the money so they can actually continuously put you on the first page. So what they do is they put some kind of malicious website. So SEO poisoning is the bad guys. They do some kind of program behind the scene and they put the bad website on the top list. So you go always maybe, oh, this is the top list. This may be definitely a trusted website. You just click that and then maybe you download a virus in your computer or a malware. Browser hijack. Hijacker is a malware that alert a computer browser setting to redirect user to website paid for the cyber criminal customer. Browser hijacker usually installed without the user permission, and it is usually part of the drive-by download. So maybe he has downloaded something and now the hacker is trying to trick him, asking him to direct to particular website and asking some money as well, paid for the cyber criminal. So browser hijack is a malware that alert a computer browser. So maybe on the browser you will get some alert setting the redirect the user to website paid for by the cyber criminal customer. Browser hijacker usually installed without the user permission.